I don't know if those of you watching this video knows that football is back. Football is going to be played this week. The games that matter are going to be played this week. And I wanted to make my first video of the season about what I hope to see and what I hope I don't see in regards to the Colorado Buffaloes first game on Thursday. Everyone will be watching. Everyone will be tuned in. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and make this little video so that we can know what my expectations are. Obviously, as a fan, some of you will say, your expectations don't matter. Here's the thing, my expectations don't matter. And you want to know what I actually expect? I just hope they win the game. That's actually my expectation. My actual expectation is for them to win the game. However, there are three things I wanted to mention that I will be focused on and I will be paying attention to during this game. Here's the thing. I'm going to try to do a better job when I have videos about the team before they play the games. I'm hoping to keep these very direct and very to the point. I'm trying not to add a lot of fluff to this so there's no confusion, because at this point you either do or you don't. And that's just how it's going to be. So I shouldn't have to say this, but my expectation of Colorado is to beat North Dakota State. That is my expectations. Do I think they can do it? I hope so. But my expectation is for them to win. The three things that I'm going to be paying attention to, because I think these three things is going to tell me the things that I need to know as we head into the season. The first thing I'm going to mention is, how much time does Travis Hunter play? Because for me, watching Travis Hunter in this first game, when Colorado should have better talent than North Dakota State, I don't want to see a lot of Travis Hunter. I want to see him on one side of the ball pretty dominantly. That's fine. So my hope is that that is on defense and that he plays some offense. I don't want to see Travis Hunter playing a lot of plays in this game, because I don't want Colorado to need Travis Hunter to play a lot in this game. Some of you will say, it's Travis Hunter, it's Travis Hunter, he's going to do this. I don't want to see it. As a fan, looking at the longevity of the season, I don't want one of my best players on my football team to play a ton of games in game one, because I don't want to need him to play that much. I also want to say this. A lot of people say Colorado's strength are their wide receivers. They have the best wide receiver room in the country, whatever people want to say. For one, I, yes, do agree with their wide receiver room being the best that they have on their team. I think that's the most solid depth that we have. Because of that, I don't think Travis Hunter needs to play that much because of the depth that we have there. You can't say that we have depth and then don't use the depth when the time comes. So, the first thing I'm going to be looking out for this first game is how often Travis Hunter plays in this football game, how many snaps he takes, and what he does for this team. The second thing I'm going to be looking for, and some people say it probably will say I should have put this first, but I don't think this team can go as far as we hope they go if Travis Hunter is overworked and all those things. So that's why he's number one. The second thing I'm going to be the second thing I'm going to be focused on should come as no surprise is how the offensive line works. And I'm going to couple this with thing 2B is, do we run the ball? So the reason why I'm putting these two things together is because I was told, and a lot of people say, the reason why Colorado didn't run the ball last year was because their offensive line. So if that is actually the case, and you want me to believe that Colorado's offensive line is better this year and they're going to be better than average, then they should be able to run the ball, and the coaches should call more run plays. Because if they don't run the ball and they don't call more run plays, that lets me know it wasn't the offensive line. It was the fact that we don't want to run the ball. So I will be watching the offensive line play, and if we run the ball, I want to see Colorado run the ball. I want to see Colorado run the ball. Period. I want to see Colorado run the ball. Some of you might say, why would you run the ball when you have Shedeur Sanders? You know why you run the ball when you have Shedeur Sanders? Because the run opens up the pass for Shedeur. Actually having a good running game makes quarterbacks better. And I know there's a lot of you that just started watching football and you're going to have to trust me here. Running the football helps the quarterback. It actually helps with clock management as well. And so if we do not come out and we don't run the ball, I'm going to be concerned. And let's be honest, Colorado should run all over North Dakota State. So why would you not run the ball? So I'm going to be very focused on how that offensive line looks. Two, and then 2B or 2A is going to be how effective do we run the ball? Because I think that's going to let us know everything we need to know. The third thing I'm going to say, and this might come as a total surprise to some of you, but my third and final thing for this week for the game against North Dakota State is going to be how the linebackers play. That might be a surprise. That might not be something that you're going to be paying attention to. Some people might say trenches and things like that. I got it. Let me explain to you why I'm very interested to see how the linebackers are going to play. One of my concerns about Colorado in the Big 12 are the running quarterbacks they are going to face this year. Because usually in defensive schemes, the linebackers are usually the players that are the ones that are scouting the quarterback. So if the quarterback is going to scramble, it's usually a linebacker that's watching them and seeing what they're going to do. If our linebackers don't look good, in my opinion, against lesser competition in North Dakota State, and that's no disrespect to North Dakota State, I just think Colorado should have better talent than them. But if I see a game where our linebackers are not playing well against lower talented teams, it's going to make me nervous as we move forward into the season, because a lot of the quarterbacks that Colorado is going to face will be mobile. For example, Baylor. I don't want to say Raiola because I'm not sure what his game really is, but I know for a fact Baylor has a running quarterback. I know for a fact UCF has a running quarterback. And I know for a fact Kansas State has a running quarterback. I'm just going to stop there because it makes no sense for me to go down the list, but you can go look at the teams, you can do your research, and you can find out what other teams have running quarterbacks. There are a lot of quarterbacks in the Big 12 that have the ability to run the football. And if they do, generally, now, again, we don't know what Livingston's going to do. I'm not even going to touch on that. I'm just going to say, I hope the linebacker play is good. And I hope we can tell that the linebacker play is good, because I think if we can tell the linebacker play is good, I think that that's a great thing. So just to go back, I am focused on how much Travis Hunter plays and where he spends most of his time. I am looking at that offensive line. And yes, protecting Shedeur is obviously super important, but I'm really looking into seeing how they are run blocking, and if we run the ball, because I want to understand the coach's thought process here. We should run all over North Dakota State. So I'm very curious to see what their thought process is with how they call the play. So I'm very interested to see the play calling and how they run the ball. So that's 2B or 2A or whatever I said. And then that third thing is linebacker play. I'm very interested to see what those linebackers do. I think they are going to be the X factor this year. I know everybody likes to say nobody in the Big 12 has dominant fronts. Nobody in the Big 12 has dominant fronts. We don't know what we have either. So this isn't about any other team. This is about us. And I want to see if we're able to do it. And I want to see if we're able to stop certain things, because I think that's going to be the determining factor for the rest of the year. So these are my thoughts about Colorado versus North Dakota State. I do think Colorado should beat North Dakota State. Do I think Colorado is going to blow out North Dakota State? I don't know if I believe that yet, just because I have no reason to think that. I don't know what I think Colorado is going to do. I don't know. At the end of the day, I hope that Colorado beats North Dakota State. My hope is that they beat North Dakota State. I don't care if the game is won on a last-second field goal. I don't care if they beat them by 10, but you cannot lose to North Dakota State. However, if they lose to North Dakota State, the season is not over. If Colorado loses to North Dakota State, the season is not over. It just means we need to go back to the drawing board. I am not one of those people that subscribes to the thinking that if you lose to games, if you lose to teams you should blow out, then your season's over. You want to know why? Because I'm a Steelers fan. We always lose to teams we should beat, but we recover and we figure it out. So I am not here to say that if we lose to Colorado the season, or if we lose to North Dakota State, the season's over. I don't think that. But I do expect Colorado to win this game. I'm going to pick Colorado to win this game. At the end of every video I make for all of my teams, I'm going to pick whether I'm going to decide whether I think they should win the game or lose the game. And I think that they should win this game. And I hope it doesn't come down to a field goal. I hope they take care of business. I hope they beat North Dakota State. And I hope we can all take a deep breath. Everything's great. And then we get ready for the next week. But as of now, as of the recording of this video, I have no reason to think that Colorado can't beat North Dakota State. I don't know if they will, but I think that they should. So that's where I'm going to stand. Colorado beating North Dakota State. If they don't, we will have a lot of shit to talk about.